How many of us are willing to admit that when doing something for the first time, we are filled with fear? You don't have to be the one that shows up on set knowing how to do everything. I end up showing up to set feeling like I had to be the one who knew how to do everything. I wanted to throw up because yes, one side of me was excited, like wow, what an opportunity. Best believe that's something will go wrong. I have not been on a set till this day in 10 years of shooting where something has not gone either kind of wrong or horrifically wrong. This might be the most overlooked thing that I think people don't realize, but how many of us are willing to admit that when doing something for the first time, we are filled with fear, especially when there's a lot of responsibility and a lot of weight on the outcome is completely on you. That is me so far in my filmmaking journey. I can recall that the first time I was asked to DP a big commercial, I immediately wanted to say no and disqualify myself because I felt like I didn't have enough knowledge or the know-how to be in that position. Like, who am I, someone who's predominantly been in the videographer solo operating space, to tell now a gaffer and other people in the camera department what to do? I've always been the guy doing all those things that myself. So imposter syndrome completely took over in that moment, and I initially wanted to disqualify myself, but I decided to do the opposite thing. And it turns out that confidence is not just something that you are born with, it is absolutely a skill that you can build upon. And today I want to talk about and help someone out there be a more confident filmmaker. It is important to realize that you don't have to be the one that shows up on set knowing how to do everything necessarily. I've discovered that most filmmakers aren't lacking talent, they're lacking confidence. And the crazy part is, confidence isn't necessarily a personality trait, it's a skill. It's a skill you can build upon. And here are the exact things that I did to help me be more confident on set. The first time I was asked to shoot a commercial, I immediately got a knot in my stomach. Now, there's other people out there who might have got excited for the opportunity and jumped at it. I'm not those people. Shout out to you guys. It's not me. I'm specifically talking to the people today who struggle with fear and allowing fear to keep them back from showcasing their talents and being everything that God has called you to be. I wanted to throw up because yes, one side of me was excited, like wow, what an opportunity. But then another part of me immediately focused on all the areas where I felt like I wasn't ready, that I needed more time to develop instead of what could I bring to this project. And I'm always telling my son that fear, you can't control when fear decides to show up. But you can control how you react to your, but you can control how you react when it does show up. Emotions are nothing but indicators. They tell you, hey, something's going on here. But it doesn't mean that you have to now hop on that roller coaster that emotions are. And the same way when fear comes knocking, it does not mean that you now have to act accordingly to that fear. And confidence is not the absence of fear, but is doing in spite of fear. My motto for the past 2 years has been do it afraid, do it scared, do it anyway. Do it even though you don't know how to do it. Figure it out. I end up showing up to set feeling like I had to be the one who knew how to do everything. I needed to have all the answers. And that was probably the biggest mistake that I made showing up to that first set. And it wasn't so much an ego thing. It was more of a imposter syndrome. So now I'm overcompensating because I feel like I need people to see that I know what I'm doing and that I belong here. So now I'm overcompensating in areas instead of relying on my team to help support me. I am now carrying on this load myself. I did not realize how unprepared I truly was I am grateful that I was given that opportunity because that opportunity allowed me to grow. This is where I first learned that confidence is not just something someone is born with. You get it through repetition. You get it through being prepared. You get it through trusting other people to compensate in areas where you're not 100% knowledgeable in. Confidence comes from clarity. And here's what that looks like from a filmmaker, cinematographer point of view. It is sitting down with the director, the client, whoever it may be, and getting absolute clarity on what needs to be shot and how it needs to be shot, and showing up with a clear plan on how to execute that. Confidence also comes from having a clear plan and being able to adapt. Best believe that's something will go wrong. I have not been on a set till this day in 10 years of shooting where something has not gone either kind of wrong or horrifically wrong, and doing the best you can to ensure that everything stays on track. Confidence also grows when we keep promises to ourselves. This might be the most overlooked thing that I think people don't realize, but can you trust yourself? Like, think about all the times you made a promise to do something, to start that workout plan, to start making the content, and you didn't keep that promise to yourself. And subconsciously, you start to build this repetition of, I can't be trusted. And that lack of trust in yourself when you say you're going to do something is adding to the fear of you not being confident as you can be. So there's a lot of gurus that I've seen on social media platforms where they'll talk about their 10-step plan to achieve this and their 3-step plan to attain financial freedom and all these different things. But I'm more interested in frameworks because what works for one person may not necessarily work for someone else. So what I want to provide is a framework in how you can be more confident as a filmmaker. Now, I'm a huge fan of mnemonic devices because it helps people remember things when things have a pattern with numbers or letters. So I'm going to provide 5 C's to help you be a more confident filmmaker. The first C is clarity. Know the goal of the shoot in one sentence. If you can't say what the scene needs to feel like in one sentence, you're going to feel shaky. The second C is craft. Practice the basics until they're automatic. If you're not on set shooting something, you should be practicing your lighting, your composition, lens choice selections all the time. I would even say get out there and challenge yourself to shoot a scene, to shoot multiple scenes on one lens. See what you come up with. Do it with the 50, then do it again with the 35 millimeter only, then do it again with the 100 millimeter only. The second C is craft. Practice the basics until they're automatic. You should be practicing and learning different things about contrast ratios, different things about shaping light, composition. I would even say go shoot a scene with a 50 millimeter only, then go shoot it with a 35 millimeter only. Filmmaking is a skill set and it is a vast one at that. And there's certain things that you're only going to learn by trial and error. I like to equate being a DP as an artist. We are artists and we need to know how to use different paintbrushes for a different job. The third C is checklists. Have a pre-shoot checklist so you're not relying on memory. Less chaos equals more confidence. I promise you, trust me when I say this, that going hard in pre-production will save you a lot of headache later on set and even in post-production. The fourth C is communication. Say what you're doing before you do it. Confident filmmakers narrate direction calmly. Here's the plan, here's why. That's it. The fifth C and my favorite C is composure. Something will go wrong. Confidence is staying calm and solving it anyway. Clients do not trust perfection, they trust poise. Confidence does not come from pretending. Confidence comes from repetition. Confidence comes from being prepared. Confidence is being calm under pressure. If there's one lasting thought that I want to leave you with, it's this. You also need to trust other people. You do not need to be the smartest person in the room. You don't have to have all of the answers. Trust your team. Be the dumbest one on set. No, don't be the dumbest one on set. But you get my point. You need to build around people you can sincerely trust that'll have your back. A good DP is nothing without an excellent gaffer. So don't allow fear to hold you back any longer from being everything that God has called you to be. Let this be the year that when fear comes knocking, you choose courage instead. That being said, be blessed and let God take care of the rest. Bye.